Hello there, welcome to Saber Duel Gaming, where we always take the high ground, and welcome to another retro review where we look back at old games and see how they rank up under modern scrutiny. And today we are looking at Super Mario Kart on the SNES. Okay, so let's get the obvious out the way. First of all, the Super Mario Kart games are awesome. Everyone loves them. Granted, it may be the thing that ends more friendships than anything else in gaming, but they've been a massive success for Nintendo, possibly surpassing the success of the Mario games they originally stemmed from, at least in the eyes of many, who find platform games a little bit dated, but Mario Kart games, as they've been tweaked and adapted for each generation, have just become more and more popular. And that really could be the secret to their success. They've not tried to make massive changes to a game that was already popular. Apart from the Wii version adding motion sensitivity and Double Dash adding a random second person to each kart, which was quickly gotten rid of, the games have stayed pretty much the same. They've added new characters, they've added more and more courses and a few new game modes, but on the whole, they're the same game as it was back on the Super NES. So surely that means the one on the SNES would still be just as popular. From the moment you loaded into this game on its release, you could see why it was going to be so popular. 8 characters at this point was a pretty good roster and it had everyone's favourites there. The ranging in courses was pretty decent and the gameplay was pretty pick up and play. It was great, so it wasn't too much of a shock that it went on to sell 8.46 million copies worldwide. It was generally getting scores of between 90 and literally 100% from game magazines reviewing it at the time, and it ended up being the 4th best-selling game on the console ever, which, considering the range of games on this console, is pretty high praise. It went on to become one of the games that literally everyone who had the console needed to own. And considering the success it had, it was no surprise that Nintendo went on to make a version of this game on every other console they ever released. So, at the time, this was an absolute star of a game. But what about now? Many of these Nintendo classics we've gone back to play still really stand up well. So, surely Super Mario Kart, one of its best ever, does that too, right? Well, not quite. I know it's almost blasphemy to criticise this game, but the reality is, when you try and play it now, the controls are unbearable. It's cloggy, it's cranky, it doesn't seem to want to let you play. I think maybe this has been a victim of its own success, or the success of its franchise. The controls in the subsequent games have been such a dream. It's steadily evolved and become better and better as it's gone along, which means when you take a massive leap back to the very first installment, it feels unplayable. The courses are a little bit repetitive, but on the whole there's still a bit of variety. It's just the controls that make it feel just difficult and awkward. It's still a bit of a winner, and it's done so much in the past, but it just doesn't do enough to get first place anymore. For me, looking back with a retro review, Super Mario Kart, I'm afraid I'd have to give it a 6 out of 10. I still love it, it's still beautiful, but it just doesn't stand up anymore. This is an open invite. Go into the comment section and tell me how wrong I am. Please feel free to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, as well as right here on YouTube.